So I gave a lecture today on training design, and I talked about achievement motivation. In the achievement motivation literature, there's like a distinction between learning and performance goals. And the idea is when you're pursuing a learning goal and you encounter failure, you're more likely to attribute the failure to a lack of effort. And when you are pursuing a performance goal, you're more likely to attribute failure to a lack of ability. So, if you attribute your failure to a lack of ability, you're more likely to be discouraged than if you attribute it to failure. If you attribute your failure to lack of ability, you're more likely to be discouraged than if you attribute it to lack of effort. Because you can increase effort. Sometimes. Only sometimes, in fact. If you're trying really hard and you fail, then attributing your failure to effort is going to be discouraging because you're already trying. So I always thought it was a limited model and that it should be expanded to include other types of learning outcomes. You should be able to, for example, what about an achievement goal in which the means is to experiment with different strategies so that when you encounter failure, you can attribute your failure to the strategy you use. That seems like it would be a more resilient type of learning goal when encountering failure than the learning goal in which you attribute failure to effort. Because you can always change your strategy, or you can always think that there's a different strategy you can use. Or problem solving is the beginning, failure when you're pursuing or you're experimenting with different strategies, failure is the beginning of the problem solving process through which you try to decide or try to figure out what's the right strategy. And so these are old ideas of mine, and as I was walking tonight, I kind of just thought of another one. This other idea is that you can distinguish between, and this might not work for very specific tasks or very specific goals, but larger developmental goals, it might work. When you think about, and I'll explain it through an analogy. So if you think about trying to get to a destination, and you fail to get to the destination, there are 4 different considerations. There's 4 different possible explanations as to why. So the first possibility is that you're an idiot and you don't know how to navigate. You're a fucking moron and you're the problem. The second possibility is that the method of transport is the problem. So whether you're taking the train broke down, or car broke down, or you took the wrong train, or it's the transportation method that's the problem. Second possibility. Third possibility is that it's the path. It's the route that you're pursuing. So you might be fine. You might not be an idiot, and your car might be working properly, but the path is fucked up. The path it's the wrong path. Google Maps got something wrong, or your fucking 2006 Garmin is out of date and it fucked something up and it doesn't work, and the path is wrong. It's a third possibility. The fourth possibility is that the destination is wrong. For example, if you had a Garmin from 2006, you might know that if you enter a location, it will give you options. Sometimes it will give you multiple options, but unless you select an option, it won't tell you what the zip code is. So if you're not careful, you can end up navigating perfectly to the wrong destination, the wrong 23rd Main Street. It'll take you to 23rd Main Street, but not the right one. This can be an issue if there's multiple streets with the same name and that are near you. So in any case, these are 4 different possibilities if you are encountering failure, and it's an analogy. So you have to apply that to any situation that you're in. So say you fail, or your business is failing. And this idea was inspired by listening to. Sorry, I have Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week on an audio, like in my Google Play list, and I had my music on shuffle, and one of his chapters came up, and it kind of inspired thinking of this idea. So it's partly inspired by his what he said in the book, but I guess I'm expanding on it and linking it to the achievement motivation literature. In any case, his example is if you're pursuing like you're building a business and you start encountering failure, you might be doing a good job, but your business model might be outdated, or your business may have outgrown your business model, which he describes as the method of transport, or the vehicle. So that's one possible way to look at it. But I think like in other contexts, you might find that, or like I said, developmental goals might be the issue. So what's interesting there is like, well, take me for example. Like I'm a PhD student, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to pursue any of the traditional customary career paths that are associated with my degree. Like if I were trying to force myself to do that, the destination would be wrong. I still want to get my PhD. I still think that the vehicle is fine. Like the vehicle's good. I'm learning a ton. It's making me stronger. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing for me. So the vehicle is good. The path is somewhat questionable, but I'm pursuing it anyways. The destination is wrong. So I am slowly figuring out what the right destination is, even though. So I'm kind of going along the path, but the path is gonna change with the destination. So that's one way to look at that analogy. I think another way to look at developmental, like to use the 4 possibility analogy of getting from one destination to another, from a developmental standpoint, might be, let's think, instead of the wrong destination, wrong method of transport. So let's say that you want to, here's an interesting example I used today. So let's say you're going to school, you're in classes, and you do all your homework, and you try your best, and you're not getting good grades. What's the problem? The problem could be your model. Like it's not your business model, because this is an educational and it's an academic context, but your learning model, your model for doing academic work could be the problem. When I stopped trying to do all the reading and the homework, it gave me the bandwidth to like focus on other things. What did I focus on when I stopped doing homework for my classes? I started focusing on the small set of things that get me good grades, because I decided I want to start getting good grades. So I redesigned my academic achievement model such that I prioritized grades first, learning second. Now, I guess that those are enough examples for now. Stay beautiful.